Well, hello there. I'm Jen Jackson, mother of 11 beautiful children. While my life is filled with wonder and adventure, it can also be laced with confusion and what feels like chaos. My goal is to point out that while motherhood can have its moments of difficulty, it can also be filled with beauty, and it can also be marvelous. As a mother, you have a superpower that cannot be duplicated. You are the true Captain Marvel. Let's talk about it. Welcome to episode 14 of Marvelous Motherhood with Mama Jen. Today, I'll be talking about self-care. Self-care is one of those buzzwords or buzz phrases that are thrown around a lot today. But it's not for no good reason. Self-care is important, and it's no different for a mother. As mothers, we put our children first a lot. We often put our significant others first a lot. And we put ourselves last many times, whether it comes to our time, our hobbies, our passions, the things we want and like to do. Sometimes even the food we eat. We'll feed our children and our families before we feed ourselves. There are so many things and so many instances where we put others first. And that's a beautiful thing to put others first. But we must not forget to take the time to take care of ourselves as well. So I want to talk about the PIES. This is when you're taking care of yourself physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. Making sure that you attend to all of these parts of your life. I got the acronym from an organization called Marriage Helper that helps married couples and spouses who are facing marital crisis to hold on to their marriages. This episode isn't about our marriages particularly, but the PIES concept applies to anybody in any situation, not just the marital situation. We all know when it comes to self-care, we should take care of ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, etc. But the PIES helps it to be something that we can implement in a very practical way. And the acronym just helps us to remember. So PIES stands for this. P is physically. I is intellectual. E is emotional. And S is spiritual. So when it comes to self-care as a mom, you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself physically. Make sure that you are feeding yourself healthy foods, not binge eating. And if you notice that you are struggling with some sort of eating disorder, try your best to get the help you need to overcome that eating disorder. I am not a doctor or a psychiatrist, so I cannot diagnose or give you any type of remedy to check out. But what I can tell you, one human to another, one mom to another, is that you will be your best self if you eat right. You will be a better version of yourself, a healthier and even happier version of yourself if you eat right. So try not to binge eat. Try not to do any type of mindless eating where you're just stuffing your face while you watch a movie or watch a show, a TV show, or things like that. And try to eat right. Eat lots of produce, vegetables, and fruits, and get a good protein intake. I call that the 2 P's, protein and produce. I even teach that to my children. Do that for yourself. But not only eating right, but also exercising. Go for a walk in the mornings, or when your children are outside playing, take 15 minutes to be active with them. That's a very practical way to get some physical activity, and it doubles as quality time with your children to see their mom and have their mom playing with them actively. If you prefer to go to the gym, try to make a time to go to the gym and stick to it. Now, I know that if this is not already a habit, it is so much easier said than done. but take a moment to write it down and plan how can you implement a time to attend to your body and care for yourself physically by getting some exercise on a regular basis. Even if you go on YouTube and perhaps you like dancing and you want to exercise that way, and every morning when you're making breakfast or every evening when you're cooking dinner, you turn on some upbeat music and you dance while you cook. That's such a very simple way to squeeze in some time to exercise and get some physical activity, more physical activity than perhaps you're used to. But the physical aspect of self-care is just as important as any other part. So eat right and get some exercise. Next on the PIES list is intellectual. The way to take care of yourself and improve yourself intellectually is to take on a hobby. If you love to write poetry, take time to relax and write poetry every now and then. If you love to sing, sing more and more. Try new songs, try new riffs and vibratos that you haven't tried before. Challenge yourself. If you like to write short stories, try to make time to do that more often. If you are in a career and you're working and you want to go to the next level, see what certifications you need. And if you want to try a new career altogether, find out what kind of education or what kind of training you need and make a plan of how you can obtain that certification or that training. Intellectual self-care is important because it helps you to have that sense of accomplishment. It reminds you that your identity is not wrapped up only in being a mother or a spouse or someone's significant other, but you have your own accomplishments to achieve and your own goals to work toward, and that is just as important as anything else when it comes to self-care. Intellectual self-care and improvements can include hobbies, learning new things, improving your job situation, getting a new career or upgrading your current career. It can be just learning new things and taking new classes about things that you never learned before. It can be learning to play an instrument or practicing an instrument that you used to play but haven't played in a long time. Whatever it is, challenge yourself and enjoy yourself doing it. Next on the self-care list that we have listed with the acronym PIES is E, which stands for emotional. If you need some kind of counseling because there's trauma that you haven't gotten over, try to get the therapy that you need. If you are a Christian, see what kind of services your church offers, because many times there are pastors and people on staff who offer some sort of counseling. If you have any kind of state and health insurance, they often have people who are affiliated with them who you can go to for counseling for free. One of the hardest parts of getting therapy is the fact that it has to be paid for. And usually people who need therapy are already struggling with other areas of their lives, including financial, and the thought of paying to talk to someone can be daunting and discouraging. So see if you can find some resources. But therapy doesn't always have to be done with a professional on paper. Sometimes you may have someone in your family, in your friend circle, at your church, or even at your school who you know is trustworthy, has integrity, and has wisdom, and who will listen to you and give you unbiased advice and attention. You can go to that person and talk about what you're going through or vent. Another way for emotional healing and taking care of yourself that is free and easy to get started is journaling. Take an old notebook you have sitting around your house, or go to the Dollar Tree or Walmart and buy a cheap composition notebook and just write down what you're feeling. Make a habit of it. Keep it beside your bed at nighttime and just keep a pencil with it or an ink pen with it, and just right before you go to bed every night, write about how your day went, what you did, how you felt about it, who you interacted with, who encouraged you and made you laugh, who made you upset, and what you did about that. Just write about your day. Journaling is such a practical, easy, free, non-invasive way to take care of yourself emotionally. You just have no idea until you do it just how positive journaling can be. And if you have a very juicy journal because you've had so much going on in your life, then by the end of a year's worth of journaling, if you feel so comfortable, you can even publish it. Because newsflash, there's nothing new under the sun, and there is no temptation or experience that is uncommon to man. Everything that you're going through, someone else is also going through and has gone through and will go through. So you have no idea how many people you may encourage just by publishing the things you have in your journal. If you feel so comfortable. I'm not saying you should go ahead and do that, but I am saying you should definitely journal. The next part on the list of this PIES acronym is S, spiritual. As a believer, I always encourage people to pray. Pray about the things that you want to do, the things that are worrying you, the things that you're excited about, the things that you are afraid of. Talk to God about it. Read the Word of God, the Holy Bible, to learn more about this God that you're praying to and what things He approves and disapproves of, what ways you can please God. One of the practical ways is we have a verse in the Bible that says, without faith it's impossible to please God. Anyone who believes in Him must believe that He exists. So you need to take the time to understand the faith that you have and grow in that faith. And that's a great way to improve yourself spiritually. Other ways are to take time to just meditate. Think about God's Word. Think about your life and experience and express and practice gratitude. When you're going through things and you're sitting at home and you start to ruminate about the things that's going on in your life and you start to have imaginary arguments with someone who you don't agree with and you start to think about all the things that are going wrong, if you catch yourself doing that, pause. Get your notebook and write down what you're thankful for. I'm thankful for my health, that I am not in the hospital, I'm not in hospice, but I'm able to be in my house. I may be having bad thoughts right now, but I'm able to think about things. I'm in my right mind. I'm able to get up and walk and go to the bathroom on my own. I'm thankful for that. Or perhaps you want to say, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my children, that they are here, that they are alive, that they are talking to me. I can raise them and watch them grow. Or I'm thankful for my friends and my friendships and my significant other, my spouse, my parents. I'm thankful for my house, my vehicle. I'm thankful for the finances that I do have. I'm thankful that I have a job. I'm thankful that I have prospects. Take the time to be thankful for what you have. Express that gratitude by writing it down in your notebook, but also expressing it out loud to yourself. And that's a great way to practice spiritual self-care. As a mother, it is so important to take care of yourself and not to neglect yourself. We let our children talk to us and we comfort them when they're hurting physically or emotionally, but we need to make sure that we are getting the comfort and care that we need as well. It's the simple oxygen mask concept. When you go on the airplane, they always say, in the case of bad turbulence and the oxygen mask being fallen from the ceiling, first put on your own oxygen mask and then reach over and put the oxygen mask on the child that you are caring for. It's the same idea with self-care. You need to take care of yourself so that you can be in a better place, in a healthier place, physically, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, to take care of your children. So if you're trying to figure out how to best implement this, my first step is to do this. This is going to be my list of what to do to take care of yourself, to implement self-care. Are you ready? Number 1, get yourself a notebook and pen. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be fancy if you want it to be, but get a notebook and pen. Easy enough, right? That's the first step. Second step, decide when you're going to use this notebook and pen. Are you going to journal first thing in the morning when you wake up? Are you going to journal in the evening right before you go to bed? Are you going to journal when you're sitting down eating a meal? Pick what time of day that you are going to commit to writing in your journal. And then on the very first page, write it down. I'm going to use this journal every day at 9:30 p.m. before I go to bed, or every day at 8 a.m. before I have breakfast. Whatever you plan to do, write it down. That's your second step. Choose a time and write it down. The third step is now to write down the acronym PIES. Write P by itself, skip a few lines, maybe 3 or 4 lines. Then write I, skip the 3 or 4 lines, write the letter E, skip a few lines, and then write the letter S. And then on those, the P, write physical, I, write intellectual, on the E, write emotional, and on the S, write spiritual. Now we're going to go back to each one of these and write your goals for these things. So for physical, perhaps you want to eat healthier. Well, write that down. I want to eat healthier. I want to eat healthier by doing what? Perhaps I want to make at least one meal a day be only protein and produce, no sugary things. Or perhaps you want to eat healthier by deciding that every breakfast you're not going to have bagels and muffins anymore, but you're going to have eggs and maybe some red potatoes, or perhaps some avocado toast. Or perhaps you're going to fast breakfast every morning to practice intermittent fasting. However it is that you plan to improve your eating, pick one simple way that you want to implement it and write it down. And then on the same physical section, write how you want to exercise. If you already have a pretty good exercise routine, just write continue my current routine. But if you don't have an exercise routine at all, write down one simple thing you want to do different to implement it. Perhaps you are an early bird, but you normally get up early in the morning and you scroll on your phone. But from now on, you want to get up early in the morning and go for a walk. Well, write that down. I'm going to walk at least 3 times a day in the morning. And if you plan on doing that, my simple tip for that is to choose what your going for a walk clothes will be. What sweatpants or shorts you want to wear, what t-shirts, sneakers, and socks you want to wear. Put them by the door or put them by the side of your bed and let it be ready. So when you wake up in the morning, you're not rummaging, trying to decide what you're going to wear. It's already ready. But for the P section of this list, write down one thing you want to do differently to improve your eating habits and one thing you want to do differently for improving your physical exercise habits. Then go down to the I and write down your goal for the I. Do you plan on writing a book? Do you plan on writing more poetry? Do you plan on taking up a new hobby like painting or drawing? Do you plan on getting a certification? Do you plan on getting a real estate license? Whatever your goal is to improve yourself intellectually. Do you want to read more books and you want to read 1 book a month? Whatever it is, write that down in the intellectual section. Next is the emotional section. If you feel like you need some kind of therapy, write down what you're going to do about it. Are you going to call your insurance company to see who's covered by your insurance company? Are you going to meet with someone at church? Are you going to pick a friend to talk to and to speak with once a month or once a week about what's going on in your life? Whatever it is, write it down and write down what you're going to do about it. For example, if your goal is to start meeting with a therapist, then write down, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., I'm going to call at least 3 different therapists to vet them and to see who I want to go with. Or tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., I'm going to call my insurance company to see who's covered. Or perhaps tomorrow I'm going to text my friend so-and-so to see if I can speak with her once a week or once every other week or once a month about what's going on in my life, just to talk it over and hear myself say these things out loud and see what kind of advice she has for me. Whatever your goal is for your emotional health, write it down. Don't make it complicated. Make it a simple thing and a simple step you can take towards your goal. Next on the list is S for spiritual. If you are a believer and you haven't been attending church, Perhaps that's your simple goal. You want to make it a goal to start attending church every Sunday or every other Sunday, or at least once a month if you haven't been going at all. Or perhaps you want to make it a habit of praying more. And if you are the type who has a hard time making time to pray, write something down about what you're going to do about it. For example, you could say, every morning when I wake up, instead of sitting in the bed and grabbing my phone, I am going to pray first. I'm going to thank God for something and ask God for something. Perhaps it's as simple as that. It can be a very simple first step. If you already don't have a habit of prayer, that's a very simple first step. As soon as you wake up, do not grab your phone, but say, Lord, thank you for waking me up and thank you for my family. Please let me have a good day and please let me get this job that I applied for. Simple as that. You have prayed to the Lord that morning. Perhaps you want to get into the habit of reading your Bible more. You can do the same thing. This is a habit I developed when I was still a teenager. I would keep a Bible right next to my bed, and when I woke up in the morning, before I even got out of the bed, I opened my Bible and read it right there in the bed. That's a simple thing that you can do. It doesn't have to be 45 minutes to an hour of reading and praying. You can just take a few short minutes before you get up in the morning. That way you know that you have done it and you are improving your spiritual health. Because a little bit of prayer and reading the Bible every day is so much better than none at all for the whole year or two. So whatever your spiritual goals are, if you want to sit and meditate more, you want to be more grateful, you want to learn how to have an attitude of gratitude. Well, with your journal, an easy way to have an attitude of gratitude is to make sure when you take your journaling time every day that you're always writing down something that you're grateful for, whether it's one thing, 3 things, or 10 things. So that is the PIES method of self-care. Take a moment to follow those steps that I just outlined. 1, get a notebook. 2, choose a journaling time. And 3, write down your PIES goals: physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. And then the next step, the 4th step, is to implement those things that you wrote down so you can reach those goals. If you need more details on how you want to reach those goals, write down more details. For example, for the intellectual goal, if you need a certification for a job that you want to do, write down more details, like where you're going to get the certification from and how long it's going to take and how you plan to pay for it, etc. Whatever it is, I want you to take time to take your self-care seriously. And using the PIES method is a very simple way to do that. So one thing I've learned as being a mother, or while being a mother, is that caring for yourself is caring for your family. And motherhood is marvelous because it benefits us, even in the PIES. Physically, did you know that having babies and breastfeeding lowers your risk of certain cancers, and breast cancers especially? Who knew, right? We tend to have a longer life because of giving birth. And I think that's amazing. And intellectually, it challenges us as we learn to be creative in ways of taking care of our children. We learn more about vaccines, about medical care. We learn more about education and academic subjects as we raise our children, especially if we're homeschooling. Emotionally, taking care of children teaches us to be tough and have a tough shell because it shows us how to be strong for someone else. It shows us how to be empathetic. It shows us how to be compassionate and caring and selfless. And spiritually, being a mother helps us to have a better perspective on life. It helps us to understand goals and priorities. So being a mother stretches us and strengthens us in ways that no other job ever could. And that makes motherhood marvelous. So what do you think, my fellow sister in motherhood? Leave a comment or send me an email, which is in the description. And check out the books I have written called Walk With Me that encourages us to have family devotions with our children. Or the book of poetry that I have that highlights the beauty of family and faith and love and life. And have a marvelous day, Mama. You've got this.